Welcome to the man in charge. And who is the man in charge? Well, that's Jesus Christ, who sits at the right hand of the Father. We're going to be talking about the first step of investing. It's a question that I get asked a lot when it comes to investing in the market. And a lot of people think that it's picking the right stock, picking the right mutual fund, picking the right ETF, picking the right cryptocurrency. There's so many different ways of thinking about the first step. However, we need to go back a little and see what is really required to be a good investor. What are the habits of a good investor? So, the first step that I would say would be the first step in investing is saving. From my experience, that has been the staple of proper investing in my life. Building up good saving habits, learning how to budget, increasing the rate of savings when it comes to your income. So it's not a very sexy answer, but it's the answer that we need to acknowledge the saving aspect of investing. So what is a good savings definition? Well, what works when the end goal is to invest? Well, that's savings would be getting a certain amount of your income into a bucket that continues to grow over time, that is not touched, that is not being pulled out of for other things like that may be put into consumption. So savings or your savings continues to accumulate little by little over time. So that's what a proper way of thinking of savings. Once you start building up a good savings nest egg, then that can be allocated elsewhere. Be it a cryptocurrency, if that's the way you're thinking, if that's the type of investing that you're looking into, if you're putting your savings into another asset, such as a certificate of deposit or or into real estate. Whatever it is, step one is building a good nest egg of savings. Now, there are different ways of, of figuring out what forms a good savings habit. I think one huge step in this effort is to start creating a budget. A budget will help you understand what comes in and what goes out. Once you start understanding what comes in and how much your maintenance is, you can start understanding what a good proper savings amount would look like for you month to month. So just say if your expenses are $4,000 a month. Okay, that includes food, utilities, housing, the transportation costs like holding a car. Once you calculate all that and calculate the amount of, and you come out to a total of $4,000. Now, to see your income is $6,000 a month. So now we have a surplus of $2,000. Now, you figure out what that amount is, and in a percentage, and now you have a good understanding of what is left over. Now, I'm not saying this is all of it should be put into savings, because as Christians, we're also tithing. So we're always taking off the top. That's what we want to do as Christians, as good Christians, is we take off 10% of our gross income. Maybe you have other rules for your homes, but that's uh, just a general rule. And so once you get all of that, now you have your total expenditure plus your giving, and now the rest of it can be used towards savings. Now, there are different ways of starting to allocate that surplus, that savings after expenditures and after your giving. You can put those in different buckets. You can leave it in a savings account. Right now, in 2023, we're looking at 4.5% on a APR on a high yield savings account. That's if you wanted to sit there, that's a good option. You can also put that into a CD, which may be a little bit higher. So there are different things to consider, and also one of the probably the best thing to do if you're employed through a company and you have a W-2. One thing to look at is into your company's 401k plan. Most companies offer a 3% match, which is really good, considering that is money that is given to you. It's free money. So that's also something to consider when you're allocating your surplus of your income. Another option, maybe you look into a money market account or a stockbroker that where you could put money into an ETF or an index. So there are a variety of options. But again, the first step of any sort of investing strategy is savings. Savings will be your best friend. Learning how to save, learning how to be a good steward of your income, being a good steward of your consumption, finding ways to avoid overconsumption so you do have a high percentage of your income going towards savings. Now that's baby step number one. That's what we as Christians can start thinking about when it comes to our monthly budgets. And it's a good habit to start getting in the rhythm of managing every dollar through a budget. Yeah, and budgets are, for the most part, have a negative connotation because a lot of people may think of people that budget as being either asset poor, maybe low income, or not have a good handle on their money. And that is very false. That's untrue. People that think in budget terms are able to have a good grasp of what comes in and what comes out. That's just general good practice. Everyone should be budgeting and keeping track of all of their expenses. So, yeah, that's baby step number one, and it may be not as a big of a shock that's where we begin. And once you start building those good saving habits, you have tackled the biggest part of proper investing. I remember reading a book on real estate, and the author of the book, and I'll probably cover this book in the near future and give it a review. I actually really enjoyed this book. I forget the name, but one of the things the biggest thing that I took out of the book is that in order to be a good real estate mogul, or how to become a real estate mogul, is to have a good grasp on your finances through proper budgeting and proper savings. It's and eventually those savings can be used through leverage to produce a profit. And you can do that also in the stock market. If you have a good pool of cash, then you put it into a brokerage account that allows you to leverage. That leverage will help you with in maximizing your profits. So, yeah, that's it's. I was never really taught that savings was one of the key aspects of investing. Not until reading a few books and understanding how we can start using leveraging, or how to use other people's money to help you with your initial investment, then we can see tremendous amount of growth. So this is for all of us. Even if you do have good savings habits, it's a good reminder to revisit our budgets, to see where we can maximize the amount that comes in, and maybe lessen the amount that comes out. We sometimes can start over consuming and underproducing. That is the formula for failure. So let's avoid underproducing and over consuming, so that we can have a better outcome with our savings. So that's what I wanted to touch on today. There is a lot more to say about savings, and my goal in this video was just to bring awareness to that. I think sometimes we try to get fancy with what we do when it comes to investing. We start considering things like Bitcoin because they're very attractive. We start thinking about gold. We try to find ways to hedge against inflation. But yeah, and let me see that. I want to read this verse in Proverbs. Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. So that is a proper way of understanding savings. It may be a bit slow in the beginning, a little monotonous, but with time and with God's blessing, there will be a better outcome with what you have saved. And with this type of growth mindset, we can be better stewards of what God has given us. Let's not forget that everything comes from God, and without His hand in our lives, then we will suffer the consequences. If we are over consuming and our savings are being minimized because of our inaction, irresponsibility, then the outcome will be dangerous and problematic. Especially if you're building for the future, for your children's children. It is of utmost importance to think about proper stewardship of what God has given you. That's all I wanted to say today, and I will be doing a book review on that real estate book pretty soon, and yeah, it was very helpful, and I hope that, this video does help you start paving the way towards a proper view of your income. And the reason why I bring up the book, because that's a route that God may be wanting you to go down. The real estate market it can be really fruitful. It can be a way to allocate your assets to its optimal use. Yeah, so that'll be it for today, and we'll be seeing each other soon. And like and subscribe to this channel, and just continue to watch. And if you want any other videos that you may want, then just reach out to me, and we will get it done. Until next time, God bless.